Welcome to the Hidden Coins Vault. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight?
Most people glance at a nickel and think almost nothing of it, yet one particular coin has sparked endless conversations among collectors, treasure hunters, and people who dream of discovering hidden wealth in the most ordinary places. Today we are diving into the mysterious world of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that looks completely normal at first glance but has become the center of incredible rumors, astonishing collector stories, and unbelievable speculation.
Some enthusiasts have even claimed that certain extraordinary examples could command life-changing sums under the right circumstances.
And before this story is over, you will also hear why later Jefferson Nickels from the 1970s, 1990s, and even the early 2000s have collectors searching through old jars and forgotten drawers with growing excitement, so make sure you stay until the very end. Now, when people talk about the most spectacular examples of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, stories circulate about values reaching an astonishing $108 million for an absolutely unique, theoretically perfect specimen with extraordinary characteristics.
Whether such numbers represent reality, speculation, or collector legend, one thing is certain: the fascination surrounding this coin continues to grow year after year. To understand why, we have to travel back to 1964.
America was experiencing a period of enormous change. The nation was in the middle of a historic decade, and the United States Mint was working tirelessly to produce coins for a rapidly growing economy. Nickels were being struck in massive quantities, and millions upon millions entered circulation. Most of them passed through countless hands without anyone paying attention. Yet history has a strange habit of hiding surprises where nobody expects them. The Jefferson Nickel itself had already been a familiar part of American life for decades. Featuring the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse, it represented stability and tradition. But within huge production runs, unusual things can happen. Tiny differences in striking pressure, die wear, planchet quality, and minting conditions can create coins that stand apart from the crowd.
These differences are exactly what collectors spend years searching for. Imagine a young collector opening an old family coin box discovered in an attic. Dust covers the lid.
Inside are decades of forgotten coins gathered by parents and grandparents. Most of the coins appear ordinary. Then suddenly a 1964 Jefferson Nickel catches the light. The surfaces seem unusually sharp.
The details look stronger than normal. Could it be special? Could it be one of those rare examples that collectors dream about? That moment of discovery is what drives the entire hobby. Every collector hopes the next coin they examine will reveal something extraordinary. Over the years, rumors have circulated about unusual 1964 nickels showing striking anomalies. Some collectors describe examples with exceptionally strong details on Jefferson's hair. Others talk about unusual die characteristics, double design elements, or remarkably preserved surfaces that somehow escaped decades of wear. Whether every story is true hardly matters. The stories themselves create excitement. They inspire people to look closer at coins they would otherwise ignore. One fascinating aspect of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is its sheer availability.
Because so many were produced, countless examples remain hidden in collections, jars, drawers, piggy banks, and old storage boxes.
That means treasure hunters never lose hope.
Unlike coins locked away in museums, these nickels still have the potential to appear in unexpected places. Somewhere right now, someone may be sorting through inherited belongings without realizing a highly collectible coin is sitting inches away. The psychology behind rare coin collecting is powerful. It combines history, mystery, competition, and possibility. When a collector believes they have found an exceptional example, the excitement becomes almost impossible to describe.
Experts begin examining tiny details under magnification.
Every line, every mark, every design feature is analyzed.
Grading services evaluate preservation. Auctions generate anticipation. Bidders compete.
Suddenly, a coin worth only a few cents in face value transforms into an object of fascination. And remember, later in this series we will reach another Jefferson nickel that has collectors talking for entirely different reasons. The clues surrounding that coin are even stranger, and many viewers are often shocked when they learn what makes it stand out.
But first, the story of 1964 continues. Imagine the journey of a single nickel struck during that year. Perhaps it left the mint and entered circulation immediately.
Maybe it purchased a newspaper, a cup of coffee, or a ride on public transportation.
Over decades it traveled across cities and states.
It changed hands thousands of times. Eventually it disappeared into a jar of spare change. For years nobody looked at it.
Then one day someone decided to inspect every coin in that jar. That ordinary moment became the beginning of an extraordinary discovery. Stories like these fuel the imagination of collectors. Everywhere. Another reason the 1964 Jefferson nickel attracts attention is condition rarity.
Even common coins can become exceptionally desirable when preserved in remarkable condition.
Most coins experience wear from circulation.
They develop scratches, marks, and dull surfaces.
A coin that somehow remains pristine can appear dramatically different.
Collectors often compete fiercely for examples displaying exceptional detail, strong luster, and minimal imperfections. In some cases, the difference between an average coin and a top-tier specimen can be enormous.
The pursuit of perfection creates a fascinating market where tiny details matter tremendously.
Of course, myths and legends also play a role. Every major collectible develops stories that grow larger with time.
Coin collectors are no exception.
Tales emerge about forgotten collections discovered in walls, hidden safes opened after decades, and rare coins found in places nobody expected.
The 1964 Jefferson nickel has become part of that tradition.
It exists at the intersection of reality and possibility, where historical facts meet collector dreams.
That combination is incredibly powerful.
People are naturally drawn to stories suggesting that extraordinary opportunities may be hiding in ordinary places.
And if you think this nickel is surrounded by mystery, wait until you hear about the upcoming Jefferson nickel from the 1970s. Its story introduces another layer of intrigue that keeps collectors searching year after year. Many viewers who start this journey because of the 1964 coin end up becoming fascinated by what comes next. The deeper they explore, the more surprises they discover.
Before we finish, take a moment to think about the coins around you right now.
How many have you examined closely? How many sit unnoticed in containers, drawers, or old collections? Most people spend coins without a second thought. Collectors see something different. They see potential history.
They see stories waiting to be uncovered.
They see the possibility that one overlooked piece of metal could become the centerpiece of an unforgettable discovery. That mindset transforms everyday objects into exciting mysteries. The 1964 Jefferson nickel represents more than money. It represents curiosity, persistence, and the thrill of searching for hidden treasures in plain sight.
Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone looking through spare change for the very first time, this coin reminds us that remarkable stories can begin with the smallest objects.
And if you thought this coin was valuable, mysterious, and exciting,
The next Jefferson nickel in our countdown takes the story in a direction that few people ever expect. Its secrets have sparked endless discussions among collectors, and what makes it special may completely change the way you look at the coins in your own collection.
Most people never see it coming.
Next, 1974 Jefferson nickel. Here's a coin so ordinary that you might toss it away and lose a fortune. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a worn nickel, and casually spending it on something you will forget tomorrow, never realizing that collectors across the country might have stopped in their tracks if they had seen that very coin.
The 1974 Jefferson nickel has become one of those fascinating pieces that proves appearances can be deceiving.
At first glance, it seems no different from countless other nickels minted during the decade, but hidden beneath its ordinary appearance lies a story filled with mystery, collector obsession, unexpected discoveries, and astonishing speculation. Some of the most dramatic stories surrounding elite examples of this coin involve theoretical collector values reaching an incredible $109 million, a figure so enormous that it sounds almost impossible. Whether viewed as collector legend, extreme speculation, or the ultimate dream scenario, it has helped transform the 1974 Jefferson nickel into one of the most talked about coins among treasure hunters. And trust me, before this journey is over, you will want to stay with us because the next nickel on our list has characteristics that many collectors consider even more shocking. But first, let's uncover why the 1974 Jefferson nickel has captured so much attention. The year 1974 was a fascinating period in American history. The country was navigating economic challenges, cultural changes, and historic events that would leave a lasting mark on the decade.
Meanwhile, the United States Mint continued producing millions of coins for everyday commerce. Nickels flowed through banks, stores, restaurants, gas stations, and households across the nation. Most entered circulation and lived ordinary lives. Yet hidden among such massive production numbers, unusual examples occasionally emerged. These exceptional coins became the focus of intense interest among collectors who understand that rarity is not always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes rarity is created by quality, unusual characteristics, or unique circumstances that separate one coin from millions of others. Imagine a collector sitting at a table late at night under a bright lamp. Spread before them are hundreds of nickels gathered from coin rolls, estate sales, and old collections. One by one they inspect each coin. Hours pass. Most reveal nothing remarkable. Then suddenly a 1974 Jefferson nickel appears different. The strike looks unusually strong. The details seem sharper. Certain design elements stand out more clearly than expected. The collector pauses. Their heartbeat quickens. Could this be one of those elusive examples everyone hopes to find? That moment of possibility is one of the reasons coin collecting remains so addictive. Every coin offers another chance for discovery. The 1974 Jefferson nickel has inspired countless searches exactly because so many examples remain scattered throughout the country. Unlike artifacts locked away behind museum glass, these nickels can still appear in everyday places. Old coffee cans, forgotten drawers, inherited collections, storage boxes, and jars of spare change continue to produce surprises. Collectors know that hidden treasures often remain hidden simply because nobody has looked carefully enough. That belief keeps people searching year after year. Stories have circulated about unusual 1974 nickels displaying intriguing characteristics. Some collectors discuss examples with exceptionally crisp details. Others point to unusual die-related features, striking anomalies, or surface qualities that make certain specimens stand apart. Whether every claim proves significant is less important than the excitement they generate.
The possibility that something special might be waiting inside an ordinary group of coins creates endless fascination. One particularly interesting aspect of the 1974 Jefferson Nickel is how it challenges assumptions. Many people believe valuable coins must look obviously rare or unusual. In reality, some of the most sought-after collectibles appear completely ordinary to inexperienced eyes. A coin can pass through thousands of hands unnoticed simply because its importance is hidden in details only collectors recognize. This idea fuels the treasure-hunting spirit of the hobby. Somewhere, someone may unknowingly possess a remarkable coin without realizing it. Another factor driving interest is condition rarity. While millions of 1974 nickels were produced, truly exceptional examples become increasingly difficult to locate. Coins suffer wear, scratches, contact marks, and environmental damage over time. Finding one preserved in outstanding condition can be surprisingly challenging. Collectors compete aggressively for coins that display superior preservation, brilliant surfaces, and strong visual appeal. In some cases, tiny differences can dramatically influence desirability. This pursuit of excellence transforms an everyday coin into a prized collectible. Now imagine a family sorting through belongings inherited from a relative who saved coins for decades. Among the collection sits a group of Jefferson Nickels. Most receive little attention. Then one family member decides to examine them more carefully. They discover a 1974 nickel that appears different from the rest. Research begins. Questions multiply. Could this coin possess characteristics that collectors seek? Stories like this capture imaginations because they feel possible. They remind us that remarkable discoveries often begin with ordinary moments. And speaking of remarkable discoveries, keep watching closely because the next Jefferson Nickel in our countdown introduces a completely different kind of mystery. Many collectors who become fascinated by the 1974 coin eventually find themselves obsessed with the clues surrounding the upcoming issue. The transition from one story to the next feels almost unbelievable, and you will soon understand why experienced treasure hunters never stop searching. The legend of the 1974 Jefferson Nickel has also grown through storytelling. Every collectible develops myths, rumors, and unforgettable tales. Coin shows, collector meetings, online discussions, and hobby publications all contribute to the narrative. People share stories of unexpected finds, overlooked treasures, and coins discovered where nobody expected them. Some accounts become famous. Others remain local legends. Together they create an atmosphere of excitement that keeps the hobby alive. The 1974 nickel occupies a special place in that world because it represents possibility. It reminds collectors that extraordinary opportunities can hide within ordinary objects. The emotional appeal cannot be overstated. Imagine realizing that a coin overlooked for years could suddenly become the center of attention. Imagine experts examining it under magnification. Imagine collectors discussing its qualities. Imagine an auction room filled with anticipation. Whether the final result is modest or spectacular, the experience itself becomes unforgettable. That emotional journey is part of what makes coin collecting unique. Every discovery carries the promise of a story worth telling. There is also the powerful influence of fear of missing out. Nobody wants to learn that they unknowingly spent a potentially collectible coin years earlier. This thought encourages people to examine their change more carefully. It motivates them to revisit old collections. It inspires searches through containers that have remained untouched for decades. The possibility of hidden value creates curiosity, and curiosity drives action. Even people who never considered themselves collectors often become interested once they realize what might be sitting unnoticed in their own homes. As the fascination surrounding the 1974 Jefferson Nickel continues to grow, more individuals join the hunt. Some search through bankrolls. Others explore flea markets, estate sales, and inherited collections. Each search carries the same exciting question: what if the next coin examined turns out to be something special? That question has fueled countless discoveries throughout the history of collecting, and it continues to inspire treasure hunters today. Yet despite all the excitement surrounding the 1974 Jefferson Nickel, an even more surprising chapter is waiting ahead. The next coin in this series introduces new mysteries, fresh speculation, and collector conversations that have kept enthusiasts talking for years. Many people believe they understand rare nickels after learning about 1964 and 1974, only to discover that the upcoming story changes everything. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. What makes it so different has puzzled collectors, inspired searches across the country, and turned ordinary spare change into the subject of extraordinary attention. The journey is only getting started. Next, 1977 Jefferson Nickel. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never stop talking about it. Imagine opening an old drawer that has not been touched for decades, sorting through a pile of forgotten coins, and discovering that one seemingly ordinary nickel has become the center of collector fascination. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel is exactly the kind of coin that fuels dreams, sparks treasure hunts, and keeps collectors searching through mountains of pocket change year after year. At first glance, it appears completely ordinary, just another 5-cent piece from the late 1970s. Yet beneath that familiar appearance lies a story of rarity, mystery, speculation, and extraordinary collector interest. Some of the most dramatic discussions surrounding exceptional examples of this coin involve theoretical values climbing as high as $114 million under the most extraordinary circumstances imaginable. Whether considered collector legend, ultimate speculation, or hobby folklore, those incredible figures have only intensified interest in the 1977 Jefferson Nickel. And if you think this story sounds unbelievable already, stay with us because the next nickel waiting ahead introduces a twist that many collectors never see coming. To understand why the 1977 Jefferson Nickel attracts so much attention, we first need to step back into the year it was produced. America in 1977 was experiencing significant changes. New technologies were emerging, cultural trends were evolving, and millions of Americans handled nickels every day without giving them a second thought. The United States Mint continued producing coins in enormous quantities to meet demand. Most of these nickels performed their intended purpose, moving from one transaction to another without attracting attention. Yet history has a remarkable way of hiding extraordinary stories inside ordinary objects. Among millions of coins, a few examples can stand apart because of exceptional preservation, unusual characteristics, or features that make collectors stop and take notice. Imagine a dedicated coin hunter sitting at a kitchen table covered with rolls of nickels obtained from a local bank. The process is repetitive. Coin after coin passes beneath a magnifying glass. Most show nothing unusual. Hours pass with little excitement. Then suddenly a 1977 Jefferson Nickel appears different. The strike seems unusually bold. The surfaces look cleaner. Tiny details stand out more clearly than expected. Instantly the search becomes worthwhile. The possibility that this coin could be something special creates a rush of excitement that only collectors truly understand. That feeling keeps people searching year after year. One reason the 1977 Jefferson Nickel remains so intriguing is that many examples are still out there waiting to be discovered.
Unlike priceless artifacts secured behind museum walls, nickels often remain hidden in everyday places. They sit in forgotten jars, old collections, dresser drawers, storage boxes, and inherited estates. Every year stories emerge about collectors uncovering surprising coins in locations where nobody thought to look. These discoveries reinforce the belief that remarkable treasures may still be hiding in plain sight. Over time, various stories have circulated regarding unusual 1977 nickels. Some enthusiasts discuss coins displaying exceptionally strong strikes. Others point to intriguing die characteristics, unusual surface appearances, or distinctive details that make certain specimens stand apart from the majority. Whether every story ultimately proves significant is not always the point. The possibility itself fuels curiosity. Collectors love mysteries, and the 1977 Jefferson Nickel provides plenty of them. Another factor contributing to its appeal is condition rarity. While large numbers of 1,977 nickels were produced, finding examples preserved in extraordinary condition can be surprisingly difficult. Coins are designed to circulate. They endure years of handling, contact with other coins, scratches, and environmental exposure. As a result, pristine examples become increasingly scarce. Collectors often compete aggressively for specimens that exhibit superior preservation, strong luster, and exceptional eye appeal. In the world of numismatics, even small differences can dramatically influence desirability. Now picture an estate sale where boxes of old belongings are being examined by potential buyers. Most visitors are focused on furniture, antiques, and household items. Few pay attention to a small container filled with coins. Then someone notices several Jefferson nickels inside. Among them rests a 1977 example. What initially appears insignificant suddenly becomes the focus of intense interest. Research begins. Experts are consulted. Questions multiply. Could this coin possess characteristics that make it especially desirable? Scenarios like this capture imaginations because they feel possible. They remind us that important discoveries often begin with ordinary moments. And speaking of discoveries, do not forget that another Jefferson nickel is waiting just ahead in this countdown. Many collectors who become fascinated by the 1977 issue eventually find themselves completely absorbed by the mystery surrounding the upcoming coin. Its story introduces new questions, new possibilities, and a level of intrigue that keeps treasure hunters searching year after year. You will definitely want to stay until that chapter unfolds. The legend of the 1977 Jefferson Nickel has also been shaped by collector storytelling. Coin collecting is not just about metal and minting. It is about stories. Every remarkable coin develops a reputation. Tales of unexpected discoveries spread through collector clubs, conventions, publications, and conversations. Some stories involve forgotten collections uncovered after decades. Others involve lucky finds hidden in everyday change. The more these stories circulate, the more fascinating the coin becomes. The 1977 nickel has benefited enormously from this process. It occupies a place where documented history meets collector imagination, creating an irresistible combination. There is something uniquely exciting about the possibility that a coin overlooked by thousands of people could suddenly become important. Imagine showing a nickel to friends who initially dismiss it as ordinary. Then imagine revealing why collectors find it interesting. The reaction is often immediate. People become curious. They begin checking their own coins. They start asking questions. The hunt begins. This chain reaction is one reason rare coin stories remain so popular. They encourage people to see familiar objects in a completely new way. The emotional side of collecting cannot be ignored either. Every collector dreams of making a memorable discovery. They imagine finding a coin hidden in a forgotten collection or spotting an overlooked rarity that others missed. Whether those dreams lead to modest success or extraordinary outcomes, the excitement remains real. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel symbolizes that excitement. It represents possibility, curiosity, and the thrill of searching for something special where nobody else is looking. Another fascinating aspect of this coin is how it bridges generations. Older collectors remember when these nickels circulated regularly. Younger collectors encounter them through searches, collections, and inherited coin groups. As a result, the coin connects people across different eras. A nickel minted decades ago continues generating interest among individuals who were not even born when it first entered circulation. That enduring appeal demonstrates the power of numismatic history. Coins survive long after the world around them changes. Yet despite everything we have discussed, the story does not end here. In fact, many collectors would argue that the next coin in this series introduces an even more surprising chapter. The clues surrounding it have generated years of discussion. Its reputation continues to grow. And the reasons collectors pursue it are unlike anything we have covered so far. Before moving on, take a moment to consider the spare change around you. How many coins have you overlooked? How many remain hidden in drawers, containers, or old collections waiting for someone to notice them? Most people never take a second look. Collectors do. They understand that remarkable stories often begin with ordinary objects. They know that history sometimes hides where nobody expects it. And they never underestimate the potential of a seemingly common nickel. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel stands as a perfect example of that lesson. It reminds us that curiosity can transform everyday change into an exciting treasure hunt. But if you thought this coin was mysterious, the next Jefferson Nickel takes the story to another level entirely. What collectors discovered about it continues to spark conversations, inspire searches, and keep people checking every nickel they encounter. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel. This is not just money, it's a ticket to unimaginable wealth. At least, that is what countless collectors have whispered whenever discussions turn toward the mysterious and fascinating 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel. Imagine finding an ordinary nickel mixed among spare change, completely unaware that it could become the centerpiece of an incredible collector story. Most people would glance at it for less than a second before spending it. Collectors, however, know that some of the most extraordinary discoveries begin with coins that look entirely ordinary. The 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel has developed a reputation that continues to grow with every passing year, fueled by stories of unusual examples, remarkable finds, and extraordinary speculation. Some of the most dramatic collector discussions surrounding elite specimens involve theoretical values reaching an astonishing $115 million under extraordinary circumstances. Whether viewed as hobby legend, ultimate speculation, or the stuff of collector dreams, such stories have helped transform this coin into one of the most talked about Jefferson Nickels of its era. And before this journey reaches its conclusion, remember that one final Jefferson Nickel still waits ahead, a coin that many enthusiasts consider the most astonishing chapter of all. So stay with us, because the grand finale is approaching. To appreciate the fascination surrounding the 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel, we must travel back to the early 1990s. America was entering a new decade filled with technological advances, cultural shifts, and economic changes.
Millions of nickels were produced and distributed throughout the country.
Day after day they moved through cash registers, vending machines, banks, restaurants, and pockets without attracting much attention.
Yet hidden within enormous production numbers, certain coins occasionally emerge with characteristics that capture the attention of collectors. Sometimes the attraction comes from condition.
Sometimes it comes from unusual details.
And sometimes it comes simply from the possibility that something extraordinary might be hiding where nobody expects it.
Imagine a collector searching through an inherited coin collection assembled over several generations.
The collection contains coins from different decades, each carrying its own story.
Most receive only a quick glance. Then a 1991 Jefferson Nickel catches the collector's eye. Something seems different.
The surfaces appear unusually sharp.
The strike looks stronger than expected. Tiny details stand out more clearly.
Suddenly, the routine process of sorting coins transforms into an exciting investigation.
Could this be one of those elusive examples that collectors dream about discovering? That single question is enough to keep enthusiasts searching for years. One reason the 1991 Jefferson Nickel remains so intriguing is accessibility.
Unlike coins that disappeared long ago into permanent collections, many 1991 nickels remain scattered throughout the country. They can still be found in collections, jars, drawers, storage boxes, and forgotten containers.
This creates a powerful sense of possibility. Every collector understands that a remarkable coin cannot be discovered unless someone takes the time to look.
The fact that these nickels continue to exist in everyday places keeps the hunt alive. Stories surrounding unusual 1991 nickels have circulated among collectors for years.
Some enthusiasts discuss coins displaying exceptionally sharp details.
Others describe intriguing strike characteristics, unusual die-related features, or remarkable preservation.
Whether every claim ultimately proves significant is less important than the excitement generated by the search itself. Coin collecting thrives on curiosity.
The possibility that a hidden treasure could still be waiting to be discovered encourages people to keep looking.
Another major factor driving interest is condition rarity.
Although millions of 1991 Jefferson Nickels were produced, truly exceptional examples can be surprisingly difficult to locate. Coins endure years of circulation, handling, contact marks, and environmental exposure.
As a result, specimens that survive in outstanding condition become increasingly desirable.
Collectors often compete intensely for coins that exhibit strong visual appeal, attractive surfaces, and exceptional preservation.
In numismatics, tiny details can make an enormous difference.
Picture a weekend coin show filled with collectors examining displays under bright lights.
Tables stretch across the room. Dealers showcase coins from every era. Conversations revolve around rarity, condition, and discovery.
Then someone unveils a particularly impressive 1991 Jefferson Nickel.
Immediately people gather around. Magnifiers appear. Questions are asked. Discussions begin. What makes this example different? Why does it stand out?
Moments like these reveal the passion that drives the hobby.
Collectors are not merely buying coins.
They are pursuing history, mystery, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary. The 1991 Jefferson Nickel has also benefited from the storytelling tradition that exists throughout the collecting community. Every noteworthy coin develops a reputation over time. Stories spread through collector clubs, conventions,
publications, and online discussions.
Some involve coins discovered in unexpected places. Others focus on overlooked examples that later attracted significant attention. These stories become part of the coin's identity. The more people hear them, the stronger the coin's mystique becomes. And the 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel certainly has plenty of mystique. Now, while we continue exploring this remarkable coin, remember that one final Jefferson nickel remains ahead. Many viewers arrive at this point convinced they have already heard the most surprising story in the entire series. Then the last coin appears and completely changes their expectations. Its reputation has grown into something almost legendary among treasure hunters, and the reasons behind that fascination may surprise you. So do not leave yet, because the grand finale is getting closer. Another reason collectors remain fascinated by the 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel is the idea that valuable discoveries often occur when least expected. Imagine stopping at a convenience store, receiving change, and casually placing the coins into your pocket. Later that evening, while sorting through them, you notice a nickel that seems unusual. Curiosity leads to research. Research leads to excitement. Excitement leads to a deeper appreciation of coin collecting. Stories like this resonate because they feel achievable. They remind people that important discoveries do not always require expensive purchases or professional connections. Sometimes they begin with a simple decision to take a closer look. The emotional appeal of that possibility is powerful. Collectors are driven by the thrill of discovery. They enjoy the challenge of identifying coins that others overlook. They appreciate the connection to history contained within every piece. And perhaps most importantly, they understand that remarkable stories often start with ordinary objects. The 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel embodies that idea perfectly. It represents curiosity, patience, and the belief that hidden treasures still exist. Over the years, countless collectors have searched through rolls of nickels hoping to uncover something special. Some found interesting examples. Others expanded their collections. Many simply enjoyed the experience of the hunt. Regardless of the outcome, the search itself became rewarding. That is one of the enduring lessons of coin collecting. The journey matters just as much as the destination. Every coin examined adds another chapter to the story. Every discovery, large or small, contributes to the excitement. Yet even with all the intrigue surrounding the 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel, one final mystery remains. Ahead lies the 2002 P. Jefferson Nickel, a coin that has generated extraordinary discussion among collectors and treasure hunters alike. For many enthusiasts, it represents the ultimate climax of this entire journey. The stories surrounding it are larger. The speculation is greater. The fascination is stronger. Everything we have explored so far leads directly to that moment. So before you move on, take one more look at the coins around you. Somewhere in a drawer, a jar, a collection, or a forgotten box, another Jefferson nickel may be waiting to surprise someone. Most people will never notice. Collectors always look. And if you thought the 1991 P. Jefferson Nickel was unbelievable, the final coin in this countdown is the one that truly leaves people speechless. Next, 2002 P. Jefferson Nickel. Every so often, history hides a fortune in plain sight. Most people would never imagine that a modern nickel from the early 2000s could become the subject of intense collector fascination, yet that is exactly what happened with the 2002 P. Jefferson Nickel. It does not glitter like gold. It is not made of silver. It was produced during an era when millions of coins were still flowing through the American economy every day. To the average person, it appears completely ordinary. But collectors know that some of the most surprising stories in numismatics begin with coins that nobody bothers to examine. The 2002 Jefferson Nickel has earned a reputation that continues to spark curiosity, speculation, and endless treasure hunts. Some of the most dramatic stories surrounding extraordinary examples of this coin involve theoretical collector values reaching an astonishing $117 million under the most exceptional circumstances imaginable. Whether considered hobby folklore, ultimate speculation, or the dream scenario every collector secretly hopes for, those extraordinary stories have elevated this coin into a category of its own. And now we have reached the grand finale of our journey, the coin that many enthusiasts believe represents the ultimate reminder that even the smallest pieces of pocket change can inspire enormous excitement. To understand why the 2002 Jefferson Nickel became such a fascinating topic among collectors, we must return to the year it was produced. The world was entering a new technological era. Digital communication was expanding rapidly. Everyday life was changing in ways that few people fully appreciated at the time. Amid all of this transformation, the United States Mint continued producing coins for circulation. Millions of nickels entered commerce. Most fulfilled their purpose quietly and without recognition. They passed through stores, banks, vending machines, restaurants, and households. Few people paid attention to them. Yet hidden among vast numbers of ordinary coins, certain examples occasionally emerged that captured the imagination of collectors. The 2002 Jefferson Nickel became one of those coins. Imagine a young collector beginning a hobby with nothing more than curiosity and a handful of pocket change. They spread coins across a table and begin examining each one carefully. Most seem unremarkable. Then a 2002 Jefferson Nickel catches their attention. Perhaps the details appear unusually sharp. Perhaps the surfaces look better preserved than expected. Perhaps something simply feels different. That moment sparks curiosity. Curiosity leads to research. Research leads to fascination. Before long, the collector is learning about minting, grading, preservation, and the stories that surround certain coins. This is how countless numismatic journeys begin. The 2002 Jefferson Nickel has inspired many of them. One of the most interesting aspects of this coin is how modern it feels compared to some of the classic collectibles that dominate conversations. People often assume valuable coins must be extremely old. The 2002 Nickel challenges that assumption. It reminds collectors that rarity and desirability are not determined solely by age. Sometimes attention focuses on condition, unusual characteristics, collector demand, or the stories that develop around specific issues. This realization encourages people to examine even relatively recent coins more carefully. Another factor contributing to the coin's popularity is the possibility that examples remain hidden in everyday places. Unlike treasures locked away in museums or elite collections, many 2002 Jefferson Nickels still exist in circulation, coin jars, storage boxes, and family collections. This accessibility fuels excitement because it means discovery remains possible. Somewhere, someone may own an exceptional example without realizing it. That possibility is enough to keep collectors searching year after year. Stories surrounding unusual 2002 nickels have circulated throughout the collecting community. Enthusiasts discuss exceptionally preserved examples, intriguing strike characteristics, and coins displaying features that distinguish them from the majority. Whether every claim proves significant is not the central point. The excitement lies in the search. Every collector understands that remarkable discoveries begin with attention to detail. A coin that appears ordinary to one person may appear extraordinary to another. This difference in perspective is what makes the hobby so engaging. Imagine attending a coin show where dealers and collectors gather from across the country. Display cases stretch across large rooms. Magnifying glasses appear everywhere. Conversations revolve around rarity, preservation, and discovery. Then someone presents an especially impressive 2002 Jefferson Nickel. Immediately attention shifts. People examine it carefully. Questions arise. Discussions begin. What makes this coin special? Why does it stand out? Could it represent something unusual? Moments like these demonstrate the enthusiasm that drives the collecting world. Coins are more than metal. They are stories waiting to be told. The concept of condition rarity plays a major role as well. Millions of coins may be produced in a given year, but only a small number survive in exceptional condition. Everyday use leaves marks, scratches, and signs of wear. Finding examples that retain outstanding visual appeal can be surprisingly difficult. Collectors often compete vigorously for coins displaying superior preservation. In many cases, tiny differences become enormously important. This pursuit of excellence transforms ordinary coins into highly desirable collectibles. The emotional side of collecting also contributes to the enduring appeal of the 2002 Jefferson Nickel. Every collector dreams of making a memorable discovery. They imagine uncovering something overlooked, identifying a coin that others missed, or finding a remarkable specimen hidden in an unexpected place. Whether those dreams lead to major discoveries or simply greater appreciation for history, the excitement remains genuine. The 2002 nickel symbolizes that excitement. It represents possibility, curiosity, and the thrill of exploration. Consider the countless coins sitting unnoticed across the country right now. Some rest inside old jars. Others remain tucked away in dresser drawers, closets, storage containers, and inherited collections. Most will never receive a second glance. Yet history has shown that remarkable discoveries often emerge from exactly these places. That idea keeps treasure hunters searching. It encourages people to inspect their change. It reminds collectors that opportunities sometimes appear where nobody expects them. Over time, the legend surrounding the 2002 Jefferson Nickel has continued to grow. Stories spread through collector gatherings, hobby publications, online communities, and conversations between enthusiasts. Each story adds another layer to the coin's reputation. Some involve surprising finds. Others focus on extraordinary examples. Together they create an atmosphere of mystery and anticipation that keeps interest alive. The coin becomes more than a piece of currency. It becomes part of a larger narrative about discovery and possibility. As we reach the end of this journey through the Jefferson Nickels of 1964, 1974, 1977, 1991, and finally 2002, one theme stands above all others. Extraordinary stories often begin with ordinary objects. A nickel worth only a few cents in face value can inspire curiosity, research, excitement, and dreams of discovery. Whether someone is an experienced collector or a complete beginner, the appeal remains the same. There is always the possibility that the next coin examined could reveal something unexpected. That possibility is what keeps the hobby alive. So the next time you receive change, open a coin jar, sort through an old collection, or discover a forgotten box in an attic, take a closer look. History has a habit of hiding in plain sight. Most people pass it by without noticing. Collectors never stop searching.
And perhaps the greatest lesson of all is that treasures are not always found in distant places or behind locked doors. Sometimes they are hiding in the palm of your hand, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. That is the enduring magic of the Jefferson Nickel story, and the reason collectors around the world continue the hunt, one coin at a time.